Welcome back everyone to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how you can set up your charts specifically for futures and forex going in for the 2025 year. And for all you new traders out there, I'm going to be breaking this down very easy. In the description below, I'm also going to be including some tools that you guys could utilize, as well as the indicator names and the economic calendar that I primarily use. Now here on my screen, what we're looking at is the charting platform called TradingView. So personally, this is the charting platform that I utilize for my stocks, futures, as well as my forex trading. So next we're going to talk about how you guys can actually properly add these symbols here. First, we're going to start off with these indexes, and I'm going to use NASDAQ as an example. So if we type in NQ, that's the ticker symbol that we're using. Again, it can depend on the type of broker you're using, but if you're trading futures, specifically, there's that CME. If you're trading micros, all you have to do is add the M in front, and there is MNQ. Now, many of you, your brokers might allow you with the integration through TradingView when you're trading to trade through the continuous contract. However, sometimes you just might want to be a little safer and trade the actual current contract date. So for example, right now we're in the December contract. That's also something else I wanted to mention, is that make sure you guys are trading the most liquid contract, the one that's being traded the most. That's very, very important. And then for currencies, it's pretty much the same thing. It all depends on the type of broker you're using. I just have FXCM, for example, here, but there's Owanda and many other different brokers. Now, if you're trading currency futures, it's essentially the same thing, except now on your broker, they're going to have specific ticker symbols that follow in relation to the Forex symbol that you're trying to trade. For example, for CME, for Euro futures, is going to be 6E, and you can see here it's the same premise. You're going to have the continuous contract that you can use on a rolling basis to analyze. And then for your actual trading, or again, if your broker allows it, you can also trade through this one. But again, make sure you're using the most liquid contract always. And here at the bottom, I have dollar index. Now I always use a cross market analysis asset. In my case, I like to use dollar because it relates back to the equities as well as currencies as well. But you can also use gold or oil or any type of other asset that you think that would be beneficial within your analysis. And now breaking down my actual charting platform here and what settings I have. So if you go into settings, you guys can see, again, these are the setups that I have. Always turn this off. You always want the exact data coming in from the actual exchange being displayed to you. Not TradingView trying to sort of give you its interpretation of the data. And then here are my colors. Here I have this type of green turquoise kind of color, and then everything else is all black. And then you guys can also see here my data modification settings, precision on default, and time zone. So this is another big thing. I know some of you might not be trading in the New York time zone, which is fine, but you always want to act as if you are here in New York, because everything is in basis of that New York Standard Time. So make sure you're always on that UTC-5 or wherever New York is. It'll make trading a lot more easier and simpler to understand. And here's the status line. Status line is everything right up here. Really, I don't have too much going on, just the logo, title and description, open market status, chart values, and then the indicators. I'm going to break that down a little later for you guys. And then this is my scales and lines. You can see these are all my settings here. So really with this, I'm just trying to make sure everything stays as clean as possible. You guys might be seeing other traders have a lot of things on their chart. I like to keep things very simple, very clean, because that way for me, I understand it a lot easier. And here's my canvas settings. I have sort of this grayish color. You guys can see these are the numbers there for you guys there. I have grid lines off. I feel like it's really distracting if you have those grid lines on. And here is the crosshair that I'm using here. Also, I have watermarks off. I feel like that's also a little bit distracting. Again, if for your personal preference, you guys can also use it. You can customize this whatever way you want. It's about being most comfortable when you're trading and analyzing markets. Now, this is a big one. So for the trading tab, you guys always want to make sure you have all these settings here. So you want to have those buy and sell buttons up here so you can get in and out quickly. Instant order placement always. This just means simply that if you hit buy or sell, it's going to instantly place that order once you're logged in. You always want to have a sound as well, just in case. You also have your positions, and then I have it in ticks. Really, for me, it's more of a psychological thing. If I see it in ticks, it helps me manage a little bit better my psychology when trading. The next thing, always have those orders, your bracket, profit and loss. I have it in money, so I make sure that I know how much exactly I am losing or how much I'm winning. So you want to use those TPs and stop losses as well. And now for executions, I only have just the execution part. This is where, for example, they're going to put like a little arrow wherever you entered at. That shows where you executed your trade. You can also put labels, which will give you a particular number as to where you entered. But I don't like it. I feel like it's just adding a little bit more noise to my chart that I really don't want to see. And then if you also want a screenshot, for any of you who use that screenshot tool, if you hit there, copy image, it'll include the orders on there as well. And then here are my alert lines. I don't really use alerts too much, mainly use it for stocks. But again, if you guys use those alerts, it's going to be there. And then here on events, hide ideas. You don't want to see any kind of ideas. Continuous contract switch. This is simply for the continuous contract. For example, for NQ, that's the one that I'm using primarily there. And any sort of key facts that are going on within the markets, particularly to stocks, I use this for. If anything went down that day, I'm going to be using that in particular. So now that we have those settings out of the way, we're going to look at the timeframes that I have up here, as well as the left bar. And you guys can also see my favorite bar down here. So the timeframes that I use, again, very simple: 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, and monthly. So to me, really, these timeframes just give me a really well-rounded view in the markets. It could be either future stocks or forex, it doesn't matter. For me, these, time and time again, most traders use these type of timeframes. And then my candles, again, I use candlesticks. I don't use bar or line. And then here on the left-hand side, these are the drawing tools I use specifically. And these are all the ones that I have favorited here, the ones that I use the most. But again, it will depend on you. So I would just go through each one of these and hit that favorite symbol. And that way you know which ones you like. I also recommend having this right here, this global symbol. Have it, sync globally. Again, it depends if you have different layouts. Because, for example, I have a layout up here where it says use this layout. You can also create a new layout for any of you who are using the premium versions. And I also have a weak magnet on. This just means that when you draw, for example, we can see here that it automatically goes to wherever there's a candle nearby, the open or closes. And now breaking down the indicators that I use. So these indicators, again, I highly recommend you guys use these. They're really going to help you out a lot, especially for sort of giving you a really quick analysis. At least in the beginning, you have it under bigger understanding, and then you can go from there and detail whichever strategy that you utilize. So the first indicator we're going to be breaking down is the daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly opens indicator. You can see there, just type in that and you should be able to get it. These are the settings that I have. And really with this indicator, what I'm looking for especially is I like to analyze premium discounts, as ICT says it, or for some of you, it might just be buy low and sell high. And the opens really play a big role within the markets, especially, for example, even your quarterly opens. That's also something very big to sort of look into and analyze. So you can see there's that yearly open, here's our month open, and here's our weekly open. Now this tool will really help a lot of traders out, determining whether if something is in a discount or a premium. For example, let's say you like to dollar cost average your future stocks or forex trades. You're going to be able to get a much better understanding if, let's say, we're trying to build in a discount below the year open or even the month open. Or let's say, for example, let's say you're trading futures smart money concepts and you're in a smaller time frame. You want to see how you can maybe position a buy, and you can see, okay, I'm below the week open or even the day open, which you can also activate as well. So here I'm on the 1 minute chart, and for these indicators specifically, they're going to relate to these smaller time frames. And the first one we're going to be looking at is this sessions one here. You can see right down here, these are my sessions. If you double click it, it's going to be from Nephew Sam. And then these are all the settings that I use. Now this indicator, I really like it because some people do like having it over their charts. And I feel like that again is really distracting. When you have them sort of as bars below, it keeps your eyes really more on the price action, and then you just also have the time in the background. So the times that I'm using is going to be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then I also have the Asia session from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And again, all these times are New York Standard Time, so make sure you guys use that as well. But really this timing will give you a little bit of a better perspective on the market where, for example, let's say if we were looking at this afternoon session and you were looking to, let's say, maybe want to buy, we're below that week open, you're looking at this as a discount, but you're waiting for sessions. So something really big for me personally is that if you're trading specifically on a time basis where, let's say you trade between 2 to 3 p.m., it's going to give you more consistency, especially depending the model that you're trading in, for example. And we can see here from 2 to 3:30 p.m., we sort of had this flip in the market where we traded into a discount, we're getting below that week open, and then we traded up higher. And for any of you who trade the smart money concepts, you can see we have an easy drop here with these equal highs. You have also higher highs and higher lows on the way up, which also made this trade really well to take as well. And the last indicator that I'm going to be talking about is going to be this ICT Everything by coldbrewrosh. And again, UTC5, always match whatever that UTC for New York is. And then I have it for hide this indicator above the specific time, today only, and show session highlighting only. Again, you guys can customize this however you guys want. I just like to keep my charts very clean and simple, and these are the settings that I use. And if you scroll down, the only other ones I actually have checked is the opening price lines for midnight, equities, and then everything else is pretty much off. These are my labels, which will affect these labels that I have here. And then that's pretty much all you need. Now, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the premium and discounts for the daily, weekly, monthly, yearly opens. You can also do the same thing for the current day you're trading. So in this case, for example, there's that midnight opening price, and here is the equities opening price. You can see how we're taking a really deep discount. We're going below these two opens. Right away in your head, you might be thinking, okay, we're in a discount. So really, ideally, I have higher probabilities of being a buyer in this situation. And we can actually see that right at the lunch session that usually for New York equities, there's always this bounce back right when that lunch session starts, and we can see it here. So really, this gives you a bigger perspective and a little bit more confidence when you're trading, because you have that extra bit of layer of analysis where you're below, let's say, also even the week open. So this buy down here or even here was really well discounted. This is just giving you more of a bird's eye view of what's going on, but again, it won't really influence your model in particular. It's just adding an extra bit of edge into whatever you already have. Now, for those of you who have supported brokers through TradingView, if you hit the trading panel below, you can see all the brokers that they do support. For example, I use AM Futures. They also have paper trading for any of you guys who want to get started there. All you have to do is click on your broker sign in and you can connect and easily trade. Now, we already talked about the trading settings that I had, so make sure you guys, rewind if you guys need to see what I was talking about earlier there, but definitely instant, order placement, have those buttons there as well. And it'll really help you out a lot. Alrighty, so we're going to be talking about now the two websites that I primarily use. The first one is Forex Factory. It's completely free. This will give you a breakdown of all the major economic news that's going to be released daily. You guys can also filter it out here. I simply have the red impact news, the medium impact news, and also just in case if there's any bank holidays or anything like that, it's going to be used with that one. And I also have Japanese yen dollar because I do trade Japanese yen sometimes here and there. But whatever particular currency that you're using, you just have to select whichever one you like. But mainly you want to use the USD one. And you can see here that again, this website is very easy, very nice to understand. It does it by date, the time, the currency that it's going to be affecting, and the level of impact that it's going to have and what type of news it is. So definitely I highly recommend you guys use this one. There are many others out there, but again, Forex Factory, time and time again, a lot of traders use this for a reason. And it's for a very good one as well. And the second one is bar chart. You guys can use this for basic news and stuff like that, but really the main purpose of this one is going to be the futures volume that I was talking about. So when you're selecting the expiration that you want, this is where I was talking about, where you just go to bar chart. You can also do this on the CME website as well. It's really the same. But again, let's say, for example, we pick indices, and then from here, you're going to see which is the contract that has the most volume. And in this case, we can see again that December contract has the most volume. We can see also March is already starting to pick up some volume, but the majority of that volume for NASDAQ is going to be in the December contract. So again, this is a very easy way to see which is those contracts that are getting the most volume. So that way, whenever you're trading whichever particular symbol, you have the proper liquidity to get in and out when you need it. Because there have been times where people do select the wrong contract, and it's a little harder to get in and out. And of course, they also have different other ones. You have your metals. Here's currencies, for example, for anyone trading currency futures. It's the same thing. There's that December contract, but we can already start seeing that people are building in for the March as well. And two other last things I may recommend is definitely you guys want to get a good journal. I'm going to be putting some free journals down below. If you guys have OneNote, that's personally what I use, but I will, show you guys some other free alternatives if you guys don't like OneNote. That way you guys can actually write down, what's going on in the market. What did you think about that day? Track your trades, things like that. And also you definitely want to have a spreadsheet. So I do use Google Sheets primarily for my analysis. You guys can also, make a simple spreadsheet. There's thousands of tutorials out there. I personally have my own. If you guys don't want to do any other work, it's like $7. It's going to be in the description below for that. But really, by having a spreadsheet and a journal, again, it adds that extra bit of layer of professionalism in your trading. Because again, if you guys are trying to take this seriously, it's going to help you extremely. But that's everything to get you guys set up for 2025 for futures Forex trading. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to comment down below anything that I missed or anything that you liked. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.